Today I'm joined over Zoom by Marnie Levine, Vice President of Seller Operations and Engagement. And you'll also, if you're watching us on camera, our director, Liz Austin, is with us as well, although I believe Liz is not going to actually take part in the interview. She's muted her mic. With the growing impact of the coronavirus, or the disease that's known as COVID-19, it's important that we at eBay check in with you, our seller community, to update you with, well, how eBay's managing business at this time. I'm sure you're wondering, and what you can do to protect yourself and your business. Now, here at eBay, we are monitoring the situation closely. And along with the safety of our employees, our top priority is obviously our sellers. You're the guys who stock our shelves. Hi, Marnie. Welcome to the show virtually.
Thank you.
Tell us when you're calling, tell us where you're calling in from and how you've set up business as usual at home.
Yeah, so how I set up business as usual. It's definitely not usual for me. I'm usually in the office. Right now I'm sitting in my husband's office while he's sitting somewhere else, and my son is in another room. So we've social distanced ourselves so we can get work done, school work and actual eBay work. But, you know, somebody put it really well to me the other day. It's not actually working from home. It's kind of like you're just home working, right? Because work from home doesn't mean you have the kids home, doesn't mean you're necessarily taking care of your parents. You know, work from home is actually work is the priority. So this is just us kind of at home working. But we are here for you. We are up and running, and we're certainly staying busy, that's for sure.
And for those who are wondering, it was an option for eBay employees up until last week. If you wanted to go in the office, you could. Now we can't. The office is virtually locked down, so we have to work from home.
That is specifically to San Jose and the Bay Area for sure.
Last week, we were meant to be in Detroit for the Detroit eBay Upfront, and we postponed Austin due to the social distancing that we all have to adhere to because of the coronavirus. So how are you feeling, Marnie, about not getting out to sellers?
Yeah, I mean, it's super disappointing for me and for the rest of the team. You know, we had big plans this year to get out there and meet with sellers, and I was so excited about that part of the job, right? That is the most fun, the most rewarding, and where we learn the most from sellers. So it is disappointing, but obviously we understand. Clearly, you know, safety and health is the #1 priority. We do plan on getting out there later this year, right? We've already worked with a lot of the venues that we have scheduled to meet at the upfronts and our seller summits. So we are working to reschedule those as quickly as possible. So hopefully the second half of the year will turn out much better than the first half, and we'll be able to get out there and really meet you guys in person for sure.
Yeah, and it's really difficult having to reschedule because a lot of times the venues may actually be in use and already have a previous one. So this is a challenge for us on our end as well.
Exactly. I mean, that's why we're going to come to you virtually as often as we can.
It's a very good solution. I couldn't agree more with it. Now I've actually got a couple of sellers on this week's podcast who talk about the changes they've made to their business operations because of the coronavirus. What is eBay doing right now, Marnie, in response to this situation?
So a lot of things, right? To start with, a few weeks ago, we already, you know, obviously took drastic measures against price gougers, right? So removing any items, from folks and sellers who are price gouging, certainly items that make false claims. So anything that claims to protect, cure, any of that, we know that's not accurate, so removing those as well. We are looking to obviously protect our sellers across the globe when there's service interruptions. So we're monitoring this literally hour by hour, minute by minute to see how we can help our sellers through this rough time. But we are looking at our standards, our mandates, our pricing, all of our seller protections, and we'll be monitoring that and sharing updates with you on a daily basis.
Our sellers are curious about seller protections. Is there anything that you can share right now?
So we are looking into protecting our sellers. Right now, the carriers are reporting no delays, but we know that doesn't necessarily mean that you can get out to your post office. It doesn't mean that you can pack and ship as quickly as you once did if you're taking care of family. And so we are looking at that. There is more to come. Please check back to the community boards. We are looking at ways to protect sellers, and we will have updates imminently about that.
Yeah, that's great. I've seen a lot of commentary in our community on the type of help that they as sellers could use. And our priority is to our sellers, as I mentioned, and mitigating as much of the impact as possible. But what can sellers do themselves right now to protect both their health and their businesses?
Well, first of all, for your health, right, stay informed. You know, the same thing I'm doing with my family is really going to those sites that are reputable, right? So the CDC, the World Health Organization, your local government, really just to stay up to date. I think that we've all have a little bit of overload of information, and I try to just kind of distill down to the places where I would think that the correct information is at. So that's kind of job one for your family. On the eBay front, you know, communication, right? We did put a note up on ebay.com, just letting buyers know that we are still obviously up and running, but there could be delays, right? We run a business of small businesses, and everyone knows that it's tough times. And so to be patient, you know, understand if sellers are delayed, and we put that note out there. So we are letting buyers know, and sellers, we encourage you to do the same and talk to your buyers, let them know what's going on. You know, as everyone knows, this company was founded on the intent and the reputation that people are generally good, right? We know Pierre said that from the beginning, and so we do believe that, and we believe if you communicate accordingly, we shouldn't see any interruptions.
I also want to say you want to stay connected with the community, right?
Absolutely. So the community, whether it's our community, clearly on, you know, our community boards, we are monitoring them. We are seeing some great posts. We are seeing some inspiring stories, right? I'm loving the inspiring stories. It's keeping me going, quite frankly. You know, this is hard work for all of you out there and for us at eBay, but it actually is why we do it. It kind of puts purpose in our daily lives. So read those stories, share feedback, share advice. We do know that there have been delays for GCX, right? So we know the call centers were experiencing delays. Use the community, use each other, use the Facebook groups. If you have a very high level question about your listings or things of that nature, try to use other resources. Clearly, if you have questions around fraud or payments or some more serious issues, reach out to GCX. Those calls are being answered.
And when we talk about community, we mean all aspects of online connection where people get together with common interests and likes. But at eBay, of course, which was in many ways the original online community, we have our community pages. They've been there for 25 years this year. It's like your neighborhood online, in fact. And whether it's community.ebay.com, or as Marnie said, Facebook or Nextdoor or Reddit or whatever platform that you're using, even YouTube, sellers are there connecting right now with each other. They have a lot of time to do so because a lot of different metro areas across the country, they're sheltering in place. They can't go out, ours included. So you don't need to feel like you're going through this all alone. There are lots of sellers out there that you can still talk to. So take advantage of the good thing the internet provides, which is connection.
Yes, I was just thinking about that this morning. Wow, imagine, you know, years ago, right now we're all on Zoom and we're all communicating with each other and you still feel very connected. But just a few short years ago,
Right.
that wouldn't have been the case. So I'm thankful for that technology for sure.
One other question I would have for you, Marnie, was it's around price gouging again, because I know you alluded to that just a moment ago, but on the site, what has eBay done about this? It's been a bit of a hot topic for some sellers, although I think generally the community of sellers supports our efforts, but there may be some confusion about what's happening. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. You know, as you know, we have hundreds of millions of listings, right? And so what we try to do is look for obviously big discrepancies, big outliers, but we have banned the N95, N100, and surgical masks from our site, so you can't list them at all because anybody's listing them now usually are not listing them at the MSRP. They are gouging, so we've removed those as well as hand sanitizer and wipes and things of that nature. You know, as the market gets back to quote unquote normal, obviously we'll start allowing those items on the site more frequently and more often. We know people have needs out there, so we are looking at sellers who, you know, are going to leave it at MSRP and tracking those as well. But for now, we've banned specific items. We haven't banned the toilet paper and other commodities. We are looking closely at price gouging. You can imagine we get emails all the time from sellers, from employees that we forward on to our team, who actually looks at the site day in, day out at these risks and removes those listings. So we're actively monitoring that currently.
Yeah, there's those two guys in Tennessee that were, they went
Oh,
around and stockpiled a bunch of stuff. In the end, I think more for their own protection, they've agreed to donate it all. I have to tell you, if I had a box of masks, or if and I have some hand sanitizer, I bought a bunch of hand sanitizer to give away. I bought those little ones, and every time I'd see someone, I'd say, here, take this, you might need it. Right now, businesses and profit are important, but of course, it's eBay's belief that the community and our own humanity is more important at a time like this. So consider, if you have these things, go to your local hospital and drop them off. They don't have enough. They could use those masks.
They could even use some other things. I mean, this may sound, silly, but we dropped off a bunch of flowers. We had the upfront scheduled, and we had, ordered flowers and decorations, as you can imagine, for a lot of these events. And so those orders were already placed. So we just sent them over. The team had a great idea, just send them over to local hospitals to just cheer people up. So there's many things you could do. Even if you don't have the hand sanitizer, there's other ways for sure.
Are there any last updates, Marnie, that you want to talk about before we go?
Things keep changing, so please stay informed. Go to our ebay.com/announcements page. The situation is changing by the minute, as you can imagine. All of us are on constant calls with the leadership team to see what we can do and what we can provide for sellers. So please check back there continuously. I'll be online, clearly coming to you. We'll have Jordan dialing in as well, and Harry and some other eBay executives, just to keep you guys informed and just so you know that we're out there. So continue to reach out to us, continue to protect yourselves and your families, and let us know what else we can do to help you support you during this time.
Thanks, Marnie. And we'll check in with each other on a regular basis and share our conversations with the eBay community of sellers.
Yes, please do.
I want to thank Marnie Levine. Marnie is the Vice President of Seller Operations and Engagement. We all report to Marnie, and we love doing it. And we'll talk to you again in a week or so. Thanks again for taking part in Zoom, and stay safe there as you shelter in place. And Liz, thank you for being with us and for helping to organize this. Our first, well, unusual, we don't have our studio, but we're doing the best we can. And Liz is the person behind arranging it all, and we thank her very much. We'll see you next time.